right. I keep thinking I need to come in here and speak, so I'm just gonna do it. I'm just going for it. Um, I have been on this journey recently. It's very, very recent, but it's already changing. It's changing me a lot. And it is very new. I feel like in a few years, everybody is gonna be talking about this. Um, but it's brand new. It's not brand new. Like, of course, what I'm gonna be talking about, which is OBEs, out of body experiences, has been happening for people since there's humans in the world, right? Um, but it's new in this matrix that we are living in. I know that because I didn't know. I mean, I knew that people had experiences. I just didn't know that they were what they are. And so more to come about that. And so I just know that this is gonna change the world. This is it. And but there's not enough of us talking about this, and I just keep feeling like I just need to express. I just need to express, and especially because it's been quite the lonely journey, because it is so out there, um, that I feel like I don't have anyone to talk about this. Like, I have been talking about it with friends, but they can't help me. Not that I'm going like for help, but they can't relate to what I'm saying, although they should, because this affects everybody. Um, so I just decided to just jump in here because I've been watching so many YouTube videos lately. So just to share, I'm just gonna just share my background to see where this goes. But basically, I started watching NDEs, so those are near-death experiences, about 3 months ago or 4 months ago at this point, I guess. Maybe three and a half, something like that. And I just couldn't stop. Another thing that I just didn't know, that there were so many amazing interviews out there. And I basically haven't watched any TV, any regular TV since then, which is amazing because I used to be kind of an addict, like to Netflix and just watch shows as a soothing my nervous system, or like by the end of the day I just need to watch something, and like I haven't been interested. I feel like it's gonna change my frequency so much that I just haven't watched any shows or movies in since I started watching NDEs. So that has been a journey on itself. If you haven't watched any of those, I fully recommend, because I would say it's a great gateway to OBEs, because the feeling I was getting a lot was like, oh my God, I really want to have one of these experiences, but I don't want to die in order to have one, right? So the first time that I heard about OBEs, I was like, oh wait, this is not what I thought it was. People talk about astral projection when they talk about OBEs, and I think that's a problem, because of that word, the projection. I was just thinking, I've done energy work, and so I thought it was similar to where you're just projecting your awareness into an experience or something like that. I just didn't know that it was so vivid as an NDE. It's a very real, tangible experience, right? Has nothing to do with sitting in meditation and picturing something out there. Like, not at all. Like, it's not at all that. It's not a dream either. It's not a lucid dream. It's similar maybe to a lucid dream, but it's more vivid, more tangible, more real. I feel like I've been going through an initiation because it's been very, like, I'm in a different frequency. I can feel it. And it's very unknown and different. And I have been feeling very happy overall, like with my life. I think it helps, like it's spring here in South America, and so that helps, right, with feeling great. But I also think I've been so disconnected from the matrix since I started this journey that you feel better. It's basically, that's what it is. But it's been a lonely journey because even with my therapist, it feels like it doesn't really land with her, which makes sense because she hasn't experienced that. She hasn't had an OBE, so she doesn't know, or she hasn't watched all the NDEs that I have, which I feel like they spoke straight to my soul. And so I have all this new information now that like just the people around me in my circle, I have no one to share. So I joined Darius' group recently because I bought the course about a couple of days ago. Something I have noticed in like a lot of people that talk about OBEs, there's not a lot of like trauma awareness, or like how emotions work, or like the relationship to trauma and all that, in terms of like fear and how to work around fear. So I feel like I have some knowledge perhaps to share about that because I studied hypnotherapy. I am also like, I just studied psychology and all that. Like, I'm not a psychologist, but I have studied a lot, and I know quite a bit. And so, for example, when someone says like you need to get rid of fear, that can take, like, I don't want to say that it's never gonna work, but if it works that way, it's gonna take forever, right? Like, there's other ways that you can work around fear, work with fear, not against it, right? So that you can pass through it and work with it, not just like reject it, because that doesn't work. Like, just gonna make it stronger. And so yeah, I just okay, so why the reason I'm talking about fear is because it's a big part of OBEs and the experience. It will really get in the way for you to have the experience. And so my first and only experience so far was through a lucid dream. And I did a little research about like what are some of the techniques, and I saw I mixed a couple of different techniques in the lucid dream. I remember them very lucidly, and so that's how I did it. But now that I'm gonna start trying to do it through sleep paralysis, I encounter new sets of fear, like new sets of emotions that I'm having to deal with. And for example, the first night, it became very clear to me that in order for me to be okay with death, I need to have all my affairs in order. I mean, I'm an adult, and I need to be prepared, right? So like, that was a fear that I had one night, and I was like, okay, right? So like, if you're supposed to be okay with dying, then you need to live things in a good place, right? Which, you know, I don't think I'm gonna die doing it, but like the fear doesn't know that. So like the ego is just like dying, so like it just wants you to worry about those things that, you know, it's gonna distract you with things that the ego is worried about, because the ego is worried about dying itself, right? Like the ego knows it's gonna change after an experience like that, so it's gonna bring up a lot. It's not just like the death of the body. I think it's like something that nobody talks about is like what we're trying to attempt is an ego death, because the ego knows that once you go and have 1, 2, 3, 4, doesn't matter, like maybe it's just one incredible, like mind-blowing experience, it's gonna change the ego. Like the ego is not gonna be the same. Like for me, it's already happened, and I had just one experience. It was already happening when I was watching, just watching NDEs, like that was already happening. So so the ego is really gonna get in the way. I wouldn't call it like so much fear. It's like the ego. The ego is just very attached to being itself and to being alive, right? The ego is attached to the body and thinks that that's it, right? Like if it dies, then I die. But you know, so then the second night, after I deal with, you know, like I deal with my affairs in order, and like the second night, like that wasn't an issue anymore, right? Because like I took care of it. And so the second night I got really close, and like I haven't done this a lot. Like basically this was like I sort of tried a couple times, and then this was like, you could say this was like the third time me trying. And so I set up an alarm at 2 a.m. and 2:22 a.m. and I woke up like literally 5 seconds before the alarm. That was like pretty amazing. Like I haven't even done a lot of this work, and I can already feel like a lot of my abilities awakening like that, you know, like just like waking up like 5 seconds before the alarm goes off. So I did it. Like I set the alarm, I woke up, and I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's try the protocol 1 from Darius. And so I was doing that, and I was awake for 90 minutes. And I started feeling the vibrations. They were very, very clear. And I was like, oh shit, it's happening. And it started getting really intense, and my heart started beating really weirdly, like all over my body. I don't know if it was my heart or what that was. And I got really scared, and I was like, okay, I just need to, this is too much for me. So like I moved my body, and that was it, right? Like it was over really quickly. Because I wasn't like, I didn't leave it go. I feel like, yeah, like once you're in paralysis, you can't really move, but I wasn't there yet. But I was clearly going in that direction very fast. And so I had another set of fears, and I had to write a lot about it, and being like, I realized that I'm actually pretty attached to this world and the Matrix, and not the Matrix, like knowing what the Matrix is, but like the people that I love, and like my cat, right? Like I worry a lot about my cat because I love him so much. And, and so I'm working through that now. And this is when I also realized like my ego is really worried that I'm gonna be a different person, because I will. So it's not about being like, fear, shut up, or like go away, or just like, like I get it, like that could be a technique, but like I rather do it in a mindful and kind way with myself, right? Like, because I've done so much work to get to this place of like supporting myself, that just like trying to jump into no fear feels very unkind, honestly. And so it's gonna take a little while, maybe, until I'm ready. But I feel like even this is sort of like a knowing that I have, that the process of this of sleep paralysis might even be less traumatic if you just are able to just let it flow, you know, like, so instead of resisting, just like, you know, in psychedelic journeys, resistance is how you get into a bad trip, basically. I don't, maybe you didn't know that, but like that's the biggest way in which you can end up in a place where you don't want to be, is if you resist, because it's a journey, right? Like when you take any of those drugs intentionally, right, like in a safe setting and all that, like it's a journey. It's going to take you wherever you need to go. Like once you set your intention, you need to let it flow, right? And so if you resist, it's not that it's punishing you, it's like getting on a train that goes to India, but you're trying to get to Turkey or somewhere else, and you're like fighting, but you're already on the train. You know, it's like you're gonna have a rough time. Maybe that's not a great example, but I always see the psychedelic journeys as journeys, like literally journeys, and I feel like this is similar, or at least my experience with OBE, with the one OBE that I had, was I was resisting so much. like for real, I was resisting, and I wasn't resisting, I was trying to control it. I think that's a better way of explaining it, because I had a different set of fears. My fears were to have a very short experience, and that I was gonna be, it was gonna take me forever, like a year and a half, to make it happen, and then I would be like back in my body in like 2 seconds, which is something that happens a lot to people, because I heard so many testimonials like that I was like, oh, that's gonna happen to me. And so all of a sudden, when I woke up in a dream, and like I made it happen, like I was not expecting that to happen at all. And I woke up in my body after the lucid dream. I woke up in my body, came out really fast, really easily, and then I was like, okay, let's get the fuck out. I wanted to get away from the body, because I know that if you stay close, it can bring you back, especially if you feel strong emotions. And so I knew that I wanted to get out as quickly as possible, and so I did. And I went through the wall, and I appeared floating in the sky, surrounded by thousands of balloons, beautiful, beautiful balloons. And that was an amazing experience. It felt amazing. It felt very physical, like, and the whole time I was like, oh my God, I made it happen. I'm here. Like, I was like so aware of what was happening, feeling so proud of myself, until I started like judging the experience. And you know, I started noticing this weird stuff in the balloons, and so I really got in my head about that, and I was like, oh, this is not what I thought it would be. And you know, it felt fake. And then I appeared in the city, and I was like, what am I doing in the city? I need to get the fuck out. And you know, right how it started, when I was like, I want to get the fuck out of my, like, away from my body, that sort of frequency continued, right? Like, instead of pausing and being like, okay, I'm in a city, why am I here? Why does this, what does the city have to show me? Because I'm sure there's a good reason for me to be here. And so instead of doing that, I was just like trying to control the experience, like 100%. I was trying to control it. And so, which shows you like how different this is from a dream, right? Because I wasn't waking up. I would like, my lucid experience before that would last like maybe 3 seconds, and then I would either wake up or go back to unconscious dreaming. And so this lasted like a long time. Like it was a long experience. I was in that city for a while trying to find a portal. I couldn't find a portal. I was really frustrated. I didn't even look around. Just like exactly how I behave in big cities, I was just like moving, trying to find an exit. And I didn't find an exit, and I ended up just going through, I tried to go through this other wall. I woke up under a table. I got really embarrassed because of this person looking at me, and then I woke up because I felt so much shame. And so basically I just tried to control the experience, which is similar to resisting, right? Like when if you're in a psychedelic journey and you try to resist what's happening, it can easily lead to a bad trip. And so I'm running out of light. But yeah, so I guess, yeah, we'll see. I'm just gonna start sharing these thoughts and see what happens. I'm gonna keep them short for now. We'll see, kind of like mini podcast episodes, sharing my journey with this, because I know it's a journey that is just now starting. I know that it's gonna be, oh, I haven't talked about my dreams yet. Like, so something I started doing like 10 days ago. It's been like, I have it here. Like I've written like, okay, I have this book. Like it's not all of this, but like I would say about this many pages in like 10 days. It's like insane because I never write so much. And so I started a dream journal, and I've been dreaming so much since that experience, and like my dreams have been so different, and oh my god, it's been incredible, this experience of like writing. I started more like trying to interpret the dreams like I used to, with my brain and with my mind, and then like day by day, like I would write. So people might judge me for this, but like what I do is like I write. I interpret as much as I can, to really try to go as deep as I can, and then I share that with ChatGPT. Just take pictures of my handwritten stuff, and like you can read it, and it will help you interpret, or like interpret with me, basically, because it's not doing it for me, right? Like I get it started, and then like, because the good thing about the chat is that it knows so many archetypes that I don't know, right? And that are like so ancestral. So like I just don't have like I know quite a bit about symbols, but like I don't know all of them, right? Like I had one dream the other day, for example, with apples. Twice, like 2 dreams with like apple trees, and I was like trying to take all the apples with me, and like I was like, I don't know what's up with these apples, and turns out it's like a symbol for knowledge, right? And I was like, mind blown. Or like really tall tree, like these trees were like really tall, and that symbolizes the connection with earth and heaven, right? And I was like, like it's such a cool tool to work with. I'm not saying it's doing the work for me, like it's supporting I could do this by myself. It would just take a long time, or I would have to get some books about symbols and like that sort of like archetypes and that sort of thing. So yeah, anyways, it's been amazing. I will talk more about this, about the dreams. I feel like that would be like just a conversation on its own, but yeah, I just wanted to get this started because I keep thinking I should do it. I I don't know, so many people are on YouTube these days. Why not me, right? Like, I'm just gonna do it and see how it feels, and then yeah, keep posting about the journey and how things go.